Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 2, Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 64, 91, 30 Li of Snow, 200 Li of Sword. 64th of Volume 2. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. The magnificent carriage that entered the courtyard was over 10 feet long and wide, easily accommodating a bed inside. Jade spirit lamps hung from each corner of its canopy. The outermost layer of the carriage curtains was embroidered with images of 6 or 7 ancient immortal giant beasts, the decoration lavish and intricate. The silver-horned deer pulling the carriage radiated silver light from their antlers. They were not only majestic but also possessed the sharp, piercing gaze of a martial mystic cultivator. The 5 Seas realm experts from the Sui sect, like gods and Buddhas filling the sky, occupied strategic positions throughout the courtyard. They activated their spiritual artifacts, and beams of destructive light shone so brightly that Li Wei could barely keep his eyes open. Their powerful auras influenced the surrounding environment with every movement. The martial mystic cultivators who had accompanied Yang Qingxi to this mansion were all deeply involved in the events unfolding. They were eager for the upcoming turmoil in Li Prefecture, clenching their fists and eagerly anticipating the chaos, determined to allow no room for error. Shi Luyu sneered, sizing up the extraordinary figures surrounding him. His gaze lingered especially long on the 2 attractive young female true inheritors of the Sui sect, his eyes filled with murderous intent as he stared them down. Yang Qingxi remained inside the carriage, her cold yet melodious voice echoing from within. Dharma King, shouldn't you offer an explanation for this bloody scene? Li Wei had previously tested Shi Luyu with his Thunder Ice technique. Seeing that the Dharma King showed no surprise, he realized the Sui sect likely had some subtle connection to the Earth Wolf King's army. These 2 groups were likely in contact long before today. If Li Wei wanted to survive, she had to exploit the weaknesses of these barbarian bandits, provoke conflict between them, and carve out a space for himself in the middle. Shi Luyu wasn't a cunning, patient strategist. Instead, he suffered from the common flaw of barbarian bandit leaders, reckless arrogance and an excessive concern for face. He couldn't shake the bandit habit of preferring plunder and bloodshed over scheming and calculation. Li Wei deliberately whispered in Shi Luyu's ear, "How arrogant." Shi Luyu reacted instantly, his eyes narrowing. That's right, he thought. Yang Qingxi, a mere junior, already showed contempt by refusing to dismount for a Dharma King. Now she's aggressively demanding an explanation. If I let a little girl get the upper hand today, wouldn't I lose all face? The thought of being mocked by Shi Zhoujai, Shi Qiqing, and reprimanded by the Heavenly King made Shi Luyu's head ache. Displaying his Dharma King's authority, Shi Luyu said sternly, "For such a major matter, you sent a bunch of useless guards. They deserve to die. It's a lesson you need to learn. You slaughtered my people, leaving a river of blood, yet you speak of it so casually." If the Earth Wolf King's army doesn't provide a satisfactory explanation to the Sui sect, this matter won't be resolved, Yang Qingxi replied, her voice soft but firm. Ultimately, as the leader of the Sui sect's younger generation, she needed both authority and dignity. Without them, she couldn't command respect. Shi Luyu, though vain, didn't want a minor misunderstanding to escalate into a serious rift between the 2 factions. He turned to Li Wei, signaling him to step forward and clarify the situation. Li Wei understood immediately. He nodded and, despite the oppressive pressure of battle intent emanating from the 5 Seas realm experts, took several steps forward with a defiant air. Yang Qingxi, who do you think you are? Our Dharma King's reputation shakes the southern territory. He's a figure of immense stature. Why would he deign to explain himself to a mere upstart like you? Your arrogance will lead you to a miserable end. Shi Luyu's eyes widened in shock. How dare you? His words instantly enraged the Sui sect's elite. You're courting death. Wang Daojun, who deeply respected and admired Yang Qingxi, reacted most fiercely. His form split into 5 phantom images. With a palm strike that resembled a tidal wave, he aimed to obliterate Li Wei in a single blow. The Wang clan was one of the Sui sect's 7 great clans, and Wang Daojun ranked among the top 3 of the younger generation. His cultivation far surpassed that of Xu Changgulan and Tang Yan. Li Wei had no way to evade the strike. He felt an insurmountable divine wall pressing down on him, threatening to crush him into dust. To make matters worse, Shi Luyu stood idly by, watching. Li Wei knew he'd gone too far. With his life on the line, he couldn't afford to think about anything else. He took a step back, spread his legs into a bow stance, channeled all his spiritual chi into his arms, and slammed his palms forward with all his power. The palm strike he unleashed with everything he had was like a fluttering leaf in a gale, offering no resistance at all. Boom. Li Wei was sent flying back like a cannonball, crashing 4 or 5 feet away. His body slammed into the stone platform beneath the eaves, embedding itself in the stone, which cracked all around him. His arms felt as if they were broken, and he couldn't lift them anymore. His internal organs were severely damaged, and blood gushed from his mouth. Shi Luyu hadn't intervened. While Li Weiyi's earlier insults had secretly amused him, he also saw through the young man's insincerity, realizing he had ulterior motives. Even so, he wouldn't stand by and watch Li Weiyi be killed. More importantly, the palm strike Li Weiyi had unleashed earlier had shocked him. It had far exceeded his expectations, easily capable of withstanding a blow from Wang Daojun. Is this kid really just in the Surging Spring Realm? Wang Daojun was inexplicably enraged that a mere Surging Spring Realm martial mystic cultivator had survived his palm strike. He charged forward, intending to deliver another blow. Good, good, good. How dare you kill someone under my protection? Do you have any respect for the Dharma King at all? Shi Luyu, consumed by fury, sent Wang Daojun spinning with a palm strike. With a thunderous crash, Wang Daojun's body smashed through the courtyard wall and the 100 inscriptions went formation, plummeting onto the street outside. Roar. Shi Luyu roared, his voice like a dragon and tiger exploding in the void. The spiritual chi he exhaled locked onto every 5 seas realm martial mystic cultivator present. I must display my strength to earn their respect. Otherwise, future cooperation will only lead to constant exploitation. Hiss. Hiss. He clenched his fingers into claws, unleashing scorching power. The air within the mansion's walls rapidly heated up, as if immersed in boiling water. Green flames, like fiery dragons, erupted from his fingertips, colliding with the spiritual artifacts wielded by the 9 5 seas realm martial mystic cultivators. In the next instant, the green flames wrapped around the 9 cultivators, filling them with terror. They tried to escape, but found themselves completely immobilized. Within moments, they would likely be reduced to ashes. Only now did the Sui sect disciples realize Shi Luyu's true terror. This demon could kill them with ease. Li Weiyi desperately circulated his spiritual chi to heal his injuries. He knew Shi Luyu wouldn't let him die at the hands of the Sui sect, he still had value. He also realized that Shi Luyu was not easy to be fooled. Today, he had been too clever, leaving too many obvious clues, which had backfired spectacularly. Is it snowing? A crystal-clear snowflake landed on Li Weiyi's hand, sending a chill through his skin. Another snowflake, then another. The heavy snow fell in a swirling dance, blanketing the entire 100-li mansion. The midsummer month of July instantly transformed into a scene from the depths of winter. The very atmosphere of the world shifted, a truly bizarre phenomenon. The green flames Shi Luyu had unleashed gradually flickered and died out in the falling snow. His emerald eyes, filled with wariness, fixed on the carriage not far away. He muttered, 30 li miles of snow, 200 li miles of sword, the gentle scholar Yao Qian. No wonder Yang Qingshi has been so dismissive of this Dharma King. You were in the carriage all along. Yao Qian's name truly resonated throughout the southern territory, where he was known as the chief of Li Prefecture. With his own strength, he had subdued an entire generation of the Zhu Li tribe. Legend had it that when he unleashed his full power, his spiritual chi could summon snow to fall within a 30-mile radius, blanketing mountains and freezing rivers. His gentleman's sword, meanwhile, could kill a man from 200 miles away. In other words, within 30 miles, he could reshape the heavens and earth. Within 200 miles, his sword could point at all living things. How could Shi Luyu not fear such a legendary figure? Yao Qian's voice, as smooth and refined as jade, drifted from the carriage. I asked Qingshi to stay in the carriage to warm my wine. Why should the Dharma King concern himself with such a trivial matter? The Changgulan gang is nothing more than a minor nuisance. No explanation is necessary. Just hand them over to me. Shi Luyu glanced at Li Weiyi, who had crawled out from between the rocks and was now standing again. He was surprised. He's just a surging spring realm kid. With your cultivation, why bother stooping to his level? Of course, Shi Luyu had to protect Li Weiyi. This involved the Zhu Li hidden sect. Although the 4 factions were cooperating, whoever gathered the most information would clearly have an advantage in the division of spoils. Li Weiyi had already become an extremely important card for the Earth Wolf King's army. 6 desires Dharma King, you're underestimating that surging spring realm kid by your side. Yang Qingshi's melodious voice, like the gentle murmur of a stream, echoed from the carriage. Just her voice alone was enough to stir the imagination, making Yao Qian even more enviable for having such a peerlessly beautiful woman warming his wine. She continued, to withstand Wang Daojun's palm strike and recover so quickly, his strength likely rivals that of 100 meridians pure silver immortal physique. Shi Luyu knew exactly what 100 meridians pure silver immortal physique meant, the pinnacle of combat power within the same realm, a talent on par with the legacy holders of the 10,000 sects. It was equivalent to a major power's signature trump card. 14 years ago, the Zhu Li tribe had been defeated and no longer considered one of the ancient 10,000 clans. But because of the emergence of 100 meridians pure silver immortal physique, various factions now believed the Zhu Li tribe had been revitalized and might one day reclaim its former glory. This is the influence of the 100 meridians pure silver immortal physique. Such a prodigy is unparalleled throughout the entire Earth Wolf King's army, from top to bottom. Shi Luyu stared in astonishment at Li Wei. Could this kid's talent truly be this extraordinary? No wonder the Ju Li hidden sect valued him so highly, sending him to Ju Li City for training. They clearly weren't treating him like an ordinary disciple. A mortal body with combat power comparable to the 100 meridians pure silver immortal physique is just a fraction of the secrets he holds. Yao Qian, though seemingly still inside his luxurious carriage, seemed to have eyes everywhere, capable of reconstructing the entire battlefield. He continued, the 33 inscription soul battle formation was broken by a high-grade spiritual artifact, but its aura hasn't completely dissipated. Many of the corpses on the ground were killed by fierce insects. Though the bodies of Shi Chuanyu, Shu Chenggulan, and Tang Yan have been cleared away, their blood qi still lingers. If this truly was his doing alone, the secrets he carries might be far more profound than we can imagine. Li Wei was terrified, his body turning icy cold. His gaze drifted towards the opulent carriage, and he felt as if it contained not a person, but a deity, a demon. Only a deity or a demon could see through all the world's illusions, finding the truth in the most minute details. This terror didn't stem from the opponent's unparalleled cultivation, but from their penetrating insight and wisdom, capable of shattering all pretense. Yang Qingxi's voice followed closely behind. 3 of his companions who cultivated at the Ju Li Dao Academy and the Kang Li Clan Academy have already completed their pure immortal physique transformation. This group must be hiding an unknown secret. And I believe that all roads lead back to Li Wei. Hand him over to us, and we can account for everything that happened here. Li Wei's expression darkened further as he realized his senior brother, senior sister Kai, and Gao Huan had been within reach of enemy forces all along. Shi Luyu's gaze turned cold and penetrating, his hostility intensifying. This boy had concealed too much from him. How many truths had he spoken? From outside the door, a deep, amused voice echoed, if he holds such extraordinary secrets, why should we hand him over to your Sui sect? The Earth Wolf King's army is also very interested in unraveling his mysteries. Shi Zhoujai was the first to enter. Shi followed closely behind. Shi Luyu found Shi Zhoujai's words reasonable. If he can trigger pure immortal physique transformations in several people, the Heavenly King will undoubtedly be very interested. 9th brother, 10th brother, take him away first. I'll hold them off. Blank. End of chapter. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 2. Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 65-92, The Shock of a Letter. 65th of Volume 2. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Good. Brother Tianshu, come with us. Shi grabbed Li Wei and moved swiftly. Li Wei only felt the wind whistling in his ears, his body rising and falling. In just a few breaths, he and Shi Zhoujai had crossed a 3-mile-long stretch of city blocks and arrived at a bustling dock on the Shui River. The speed and cultivation Shi displayed were truly remarkable for his age. The 3 of them boarded a swift ship pulled by a strange beast resembling a water python. With sails fully unfurled, they raced downstream at top speed. Inside the cabin, Shi used a low-grade spiritual artifact rope to bind Li Wei. He chuckled, Brother Tianshu, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. As a mortal, you possess the combat strength of 100 silver veins pure immortal physique. The Heavenly King will definitely like you. If you honestly reveal all your secrets, I guarantee the position of 11th brother will be yours. Li Wei leaned against the cabin wall, his voice cold. You, the Earthwolf King's army has no honor. You promised rewards but never fulfilled them. Shi scratched his head, looking troubled. There's nothing we can do. With Yao Qian around, who can touch Yang Qingxi? I'm really curious about the reward you mentioned. Let's postpone it. Once you break through to the 5 Seas realm, we'll put our heads together and figure something out. Where are we going now? Li Wei asked. Shi replied, back to Shuzhou, of course. The secrets you're carrying are enough to alarm a heavenly king. Who wouldn't want to transform into a pure immortal physique? I want it too. Li Wei asked, what about the Ju Li hidden sect? Will you honestly help us gather information? You never speak the truth. Well, with Li Qing around, we won't miss you much anyway, Shi said. Li Wei replied, Li Qing has already been killed. Shi was stunned. Shi Zhoujai stood at the stern of the ship, his sharp eyes fixed on the receding Ju Li city. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the sky quickly darkened. Only the light veil formation barrier outside Ju Li city remained radiant, like aurora borealis stretching across the horizon, dyeing the Shui River in a rainbow of colors. Shi emerged from the cabin. Li Qing is dead. It must be true. He has the strength to do it. Shi Zhoujai stood with his hands clasped behind his back, silent for a long moment before saying, if we let him go, the Ju Li hidden sect won't trust him anymore and will kill him outright. Joining the Earthwolf King's army is his only chance of survival. Shi, knowing these words were meant for Li Wei in the cabin, grew worried. Why hasn't 6th brother caught up yet? Could Yao Qian have killed him? Impossible, Shi Zhoujai chuckled. The Sui sect still needs the Earthwolf King's army to help them attack the Zhuli clan. Lu Se is very strong. He might not be able to defeat Yao Qian, but he should have no problem holding him off or escaping. Inside the cabin, Li Wei silently weighed the day's gains and losses. The biggest problem remained the Six Desires talisman, and he realized he had underestimated the abilities of the world's top experts. Beings like Shi Luyu and Yao Qian had transcended the realm of humanity. Trying to measure them by human standards was bound to lead to errors. Suddenly, Shi Zhoujai's startled shout pierced the air, "Watch out! We're under attack!" The fast ship lurched violently, followed by the sounds of palm strikes clashing, spiritual chi colliding, and waves churning. Boom! Boom! 4 pebbles pierced through the hull, striking Li Wei's 4 sealed spring acupoints. Spiritual power immediately resumed flowing. Simultaneously, the spiritual artifact ropes binding his body were severed by a single strike from the flying yellow dragon sword. The yellow dragon sword had previously been taken by Shi. Clearly, a master seized the sword from him and hurled it here with pinpoint accuracy. Li Wei was overjoyed, realizing that Yin Shi had finally brought reinforcements from the hidden sect. He shed the layers of ropes, grabbed the yellow dragon sword, and burst out of the cabin. Spiritual chi surged through the darkness. Shadows clashed violently, but it was impossible to distinguish who was fighting whom. Li Wei knew his own limitations. He decisively channeled spiritual chi into his legs, leaping across the waves and fleeing. Moments later, he vanished into the dense forest along the shore. Behind him, Shi Zhoujai's frantic roar echoed, "That brat got away." Half an hour after Li Wei escaped, the sounds of battle had long faded. The frantic running aggravated his severe injuries, and a mouthful of blood erupted from his mouth. His vision blurred, and the world spun around him. As he regained some composure and prepared to continue his flight, he saw 2 black figures, one tall, one short, standing beneath a tree about 10 yards ahead. The shorter, slender black figure hurried forward and forced a cold pill into his mouth. Her lips, no longer icy as usual, whispered softly, "Heal your wounds first." The pill dissolved instantly upon entering his stomach. The grievous injuries to his internal organs were immediately treated, and the pain subsided. The tall, imposing black figure wearing a metal mask approached slowly, his crimson cloak swaying in the wind. His deep voice rumbled, "Have you revealed all the hidden sect's secrets to Shi Luyu?" The aura radiating from him was oppressive, each word striking Li Wei's soul. Li Wei met his gaze briefly, then laughed fearlessly, "Yin Jun's cultivation is unfathomable. How could you not know whether I betrayed the Zhuli hidden sect by revealing secrets to Shi Luyu? How could I possibly know?" Yin Jun countered. Li Wei replied, "The so-called trial was never about destroying the Chang'an gang. It was about testing what choices I would make when facing Shi Luyu, whether I would betray the Zhuli hidden sect." Li Wei had only realized this in the ship's cabin moments ago. Li Wei had no knowledge of the abilities of the world's top experts, but how could Yin Jun not know? How could the Hidden Lord not know that Shi Luyu could use the Six Desires talisman to sense his general location? Realizing this, Yin Jun's purpose in deliberately sending him to Zhuli City for the trial became clear. Li Wei didn't know whether Hidden Lord had been near the Chang'an gang at the time or was using the death spirit fire in his forehead to perceive the situation. Regardless, Lord Yin Jun or Hidden Lord had certainly overheard every word of his conversation with Shi Luyu. Yin Jun stared at him with surprise. To be in such a dangerous situation, fleeing in a panic, yet still maintain such clear thinking, he was indeed cut out to be a hidden one. Yin Shi said, "To become a hidden one, everyone must undergo a death trial. This so-called death trial tests whether you can keep a secret when facing the threat of death. This is absolutely crucial, failure would endanger the entire hidden sect." "So you knew all along what the real trial was?" Li Wei asked. Yin Shi replied, "I only knew that the true trial wasn't about destroying the Chang'an gang." Li Wei turned his gaze back to the Hidden Lord. "Did I pass the trial?" "Of course." The Hidden Lord said, "No matter how you did it, as long as you didn't leak any secrets, you've passed. Let's go back to the hidden sect first." Li Wei stood rooted to the spot. "Aren't you interested in the secrets I'm carrying? As long as your actions pass the hidden sect's screening, your secrets will remain yours alone. When you truly find a sense of belonging in the hidden sect, you'll share them with me without my asking," the Hidden Lord replied. Li Wei said, "Since I'm already a member of the hidden sect, there are 2 things I must do. Will the hidden sect lend me a hand?" "Tell me about them first," the Hidden Lord said. Li Wei replied, "First, I want to see the people I rescued from the Chang'an gang properly settled. I want to see this through to the end, to give them a proper home. Otherwise, I'll never find peace of mind. You don't need to ask. Yin Shi has already made arrangements. Members of the Zhuli clan will take them in," the Hidden Lord said. Li Wei looked at Yin Shi in surprise. Yin Shi lifted her chin slightly, her gaze unwavering, showing no trace of the earlier evasiveness she had displayed when Li Wei questioned her. Li Wei thought for a moment before speaking again. I have several companions studying at the Zhu Dao Academy and the Kandli Tribe Academy. The Sui sect has already targeted them. Could I bring them to the hidden sect? Impossible. Hidden Lord replied. Li Wei said, they're highly talented. Even if they are 1 in 10,000 pure immortal physique, we could still find many such individuals in the world. But the more people we take in, the greater the risk of a Li Qing or two infiltrating our ranks. The hidden sect only focuses its resources on a single person each year. We aim to cultivate a Kang Li, a Yao Qian, a top-tier powerhouse who can dominate an entire generation, not a group of 5 seas realm cultivators. Hidden Lord paused before continuing. For now, they're safe at the Zhu Dao Academy and the Kandli clan manor. After the assassination attempt in Burial Immortal Town and the confrontation between the Kandli and Dragon sect inheritors on the Sui River, the Zhu clan and the Sui sect have effectively revealed their hands, but they haven't yet reached the point of open hostility. Li Wei couldn't understand, if their cards are already on the table, why doesn't the Zhu clan strike first? Hidden Lord said, the fact that you're asking this question shows you still have a long way to go before becoming a hidden one. Yin Shi said, the Sui sect and the various Zhu factions are intertwined through marriage. This morning, the Zhu clan secretly sent out word that they would be mobilizing their troops. By noon, the Sui sect's upper echelon will know every detail of the Zhu clan's movements and deployments, and may even strike first. The reverse is also true. That's why the Sui sect has allied with external forces. Li Wei understood. In this world, nothing is ever black and white, friend or foe. Instead, enemies have friends, and friends have enemies. Li Wei asked curiously, what role will the hidden sect play in this inevitable war? Since the rotten flesh has grown inside the body, now is the time to scrape it away and heal the bone. Without enduring the pain, how can new life be born? Let them kill each other. Let them kill until the lines between friend and foe are clear. The Hidden Lord thought for a moment and said, the only relatively safe place in Li Province is the Zhu Divine Temple. When the situation becomes unstable, I'll arrange for your companions to be sent there. This was his final compromise. Thank you, Hidden Lord, Li Wei said. The Hidden Lord replied, you've done 2 things for others. I thought at least one would be for the 6 Desires Talisman. Can the Hidden Lord defeat Shi Luyu? Li Wei asked urgently. You shouldn't ask such a foolish question. The Hidden Lord replied, among the 10 great Dharma kings of the Earthwolf King's army, only the eldest master is truly formidable in wisdom, while 8th master Shi excels in calculation. As for Shi Luyu, even you managed to survive his clutches. Keeping him alive might prove useful in the future. Li Wei breathed a sigh of relief. He then retrieved a letter wrapped in oiled paper from his chest and handed it over. What is this? The Hidden Lord took the letter and asked. All my secrets are contained within this letter. Li Wei had always felt that delivering Master Coffin's letter sooner would be safer. Who knew if the Hidden Lord truly didn't care about his secrets? Beside them, Yin Shi's eyes lit up. She knew Li Wei was hiding many treasures. This guy definitely had a mysterious background, but what exactly was this secret? The Hidden Lord opened the letter, immediately sensing its extraordinary nature. His casual expression turned serious. The aura emanating from the letter was unlike anything he had ever encountered. The more he read, the more his scalp tingled. His entire body went numb, his pupils dilated wildly, and the hand holding the letter began to tremble. To Yin Shi, the Hidden Lord had always been a godlike figure. She couldn't imagine anything, not even the sky collapsing and the earth splitting apart, that could ever make him lose his composure like this. What kind of letter could possibly have such a profound effect? What terrifying secret did Li Wei conceal? After reading the letter, the Hidden Lord stared intently at Li Wei for a long moment. Finally, he couldn't confirm its authenticity. The contents were too shocking, capable of shaking the entire world. Let's go. We're returning to the hidden sect to see the Yin Zhu hidden ancestor. Yin Jun Hidden Lord enveloped Li Wei and Yin Shi in spiritual qi and used his fastest speed to rush toward Zhu City. As for the 6 Desires Talisman on Li Wei, with the Hidden Lord present, how could Shi Luyu possibly sense it? Once they reached the underground, the connection would naturally be severed. Yin Shi was dying of curiosity. Why had this even alarmed Yin Zhu hidden ancestor? The hidden ancestor had always been a legend. Even hidden ones didn't know if it truly existed or was still alive. According to legend, the hidden ancestor had lived for over 1,000 years. Back at the hidden sect, the Hidden Lord led Li Wei deeper into the Zhu Insect Valley. His emotions had calmed, and he asked, you should have shown me this letter sooner. With it, you wouldn't have needed to participate in the trials at all to become a hidden one. I wanted to test my own strength, Li Wei replied. The Hidden Lord didn't know what to say. The boy truly possessed the strength to do so. Opening the 8th spring was comparable to having 100 silver veins pure immortal physique, a feat that defied all comprehension. But when he considered that Li Wei was the chief's successor, everything suddenly made sense. All his secrets, including the mysterious origins of him and his companions, seemed to be explained. Now, all that remained was for the hidden ancestor to personally verify the letter's authenticity. After all, only the hidden ancestor had truly seen the chief. Blank. End of chapter. Novel. The Primordial Law. Volume 2. Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 66-93 The Hidden Ancestor, Yinzu. 66th of Volume 2. Translator. Shadow Knight AK. Editor. Shadow Knight AK. Julie Insect Valley was incredibly deep and shrouded year-round in spiritual chi clouds and mist, obscuring its full extent. Yet as one walked through it, a sense of vastness filled the air, with towering, precipitous cliffs on either side and structures suspended in the void. Legend had it that ancient hidden ones resided within, but the valley was heavily fortified with formation scriptures and talisman runes, making this impossible to verify. The dense spiritual chi and unique subterranean environment had nurtured numerous rare and luminous plants within the valley. Whoosh! Startled, an old ginseng burst from the earth, using its roots as legs to flee. Its entire body radiated a refreshing medicinal fragrance, clearly marking it as a legendary millennial essence medicine. These essence medicines and demon medicines were living fossils of the world, privy to many ancient secrets. Some of them possessed terrifying combat power, capable of rivaling those who have achieved Dao Seed longevity. Soon, the valley's cliffs turned golden, resembling a massive gold mine. Radiant light filled the air, and colorful mist swirled throughout. Deep within the golden cliffs lay a black ice wall, radiating an oppressive chill. The ice wall stretched endlessly upward and horizontally, its limits unseen. The hidden lord stopped, his expression solemn beneath his mask. He bowed deeply toward the black ice wall, then began chanting in a strange language. His voice, enveloped in spiritual chi, pierced through the ice. Li Wei stood silently behind him, feeling the bone-chilling cold of the surroundings. The sound of dripping water echoed in his ears. Looking over, he saw golden droplets of spring water falling from the golden cliff face to his right, gathering into a palm-sized pool on the ground. He inhaled the golden mist rising from the pool, and a wave of indescribable comfort washed over his limbs and bones, as if his entire physical form had been cleansed. Whoosh! From within the black ice wall, streaks of golden light appeared, like countless golden lightning bolts darting through the darkness, which illuminated the darkness. The ice wall transformed into a crystal-clear golden wall, radiating an ancient aura that seemed to shake the very heavens and earth. Space itself seemed to tremble. Li Wei was stunned. He could barely stand and, like the hidden lord, knelt on one knee, immediately following with a shout, "Greetings, Yinzu, hidden ancestor." A deafening yet melodious insect chorus erupted from within the ice wall. Faintly visible on the wall were a pair of colossal golden insect wings, their size beyond comprehension. The wings gracefully rose and fell, scattering countless motes of light like rain. Each wing spanned hundreds of meters, dispelling the surrounding mist and radiating an oppressive aura. The news about leader Chief Yuan Jie. Li Wei couldn't even lift his head, let alone breathe. He only caught a few words, his heart pounding in shock. So the hidden ancestor is a strange insect. No wonder this place is called the Julie Insect Valley. But for an strange insect to live for 1,000 years without dying. That's too exaggerated. Whoosh! The letter in the hidden lord's hand was swept away by a shower of light, flying into the icy wall. After a long moment, the leader's secret mark left by Master Guan Coffin on the letter appeared on the ice wall. The hidden lord's voice echoed again, speaking to the hidden ancestor in a strange language. Li Wei distinctly felt a piercing gaze fall upon him, as if his body were bathed in blinding sunlight. Gradually, the sunlight faded, and the Julie Insect Valley returned to darkness and cold. You can rise. The hidden ancestor has fallen back into slumber. The hidden lord had already stood up, his eyes a mixture of complexity and awe as he stared at Li Wei. The calm he had finally achieved was once again shattered. That aura. It was terrifying. I couldn't breathe at all, as if a towering mountain were pressing down on me, Li Wei said, still shaken after standing up. That's normal. You've only been cultivating for a few years. How many years has the hidden ancestor been cultivating? Once you cultivate battle intent, it will become much better. The hidden lord continued. The hidden ancestor said the handwriting, aura, secret markings, and even the energy fluctuations belonging to the 9 emperors banner all match perfectly. Li Wei thought to himself, Master Guan Coffin is truly meticulous in his work, befitting the former leader of the Julie tribe. The so-called leader was the patriarch of the entire Julie tribe. The hidden lord regarded Li Wei as a crucial member of the hidden sect, his tone filled with sorrow. The Lingxiao realm has endured a decade of war. Righteous armies have risen in countless numbers, and every province is littered with corpses. The people live in misery, with 7 out of 10 homes empty and 8 out of 10 families left crippled. 10,000 sects and powerful clans like the Sui sect have raised their banners, their ambitions burning bright. The Eastern Barbarians, Western Rong, Southern Man, and Northern D tribes are all sharpening their claws, eager to seize control of the realm. Even the demon kings who have long held sway in the remote wilderness are beginning to stir, cultivating their forces and supporting human armies to conquer cities and territories. Adding to this, the Nether Realm of the Dead, which has always sought to devour the 28 provinces of Lingxiao, now sees its opportunity. The world faces internal strife and external threats, with danger approaching from all directions. Wei, where is the leader? Why must he wait 10 years before returning? The Lingxiao realm, Li Prefecture, and the Zhu Li tribe may not survive that long. Though the Zhu Li hidden sect was powerful and deeply rooted, the hidden lord knew there were always greater powers beyond their own. He walked on thin ice, constantly fearful, uncertain of where the world's fate would lead. Only the return of a figure like the leader Yuan Jie would truly serve as the anchor in this turbulent sea. Li Wei knew perfectly well why Master Coffin had set a 10-year deadline. He hoped the hidden sect and the Zhu Li tribe would protect him for a decade, providing him with the resources he needed for cultivation. After 10 years, Master Coffin would naturally be unable to return. But after 10 years, Li Wei might have grown to the leader's level himself. Wouldn't that be another kind of leader's return? Li Wei forced a wry smile. When I first met Master, I was just a mortal. How could I have known his secrets? If Master said he'd return in 10 years, he certainly will. There's nothing we can do to change that. Chaos breeds heroes. Flood dragons battling to become divine dragons, such a spectacle wouldn't exist in an era of peace and prosperity. I'm actually quite looking forward to it. It was my foolish wish. The hidden lord sighed, his eyes filled with wonder as he gazed at Li Wei. He sensed that this young man was indeed extraordinary, unlike any ordinary mortal. He seemed to possess an unyielding fighting spirit. Wei, with your innate talent, you must forge golden vein. Gather some of the golden spring water, it should be of great help. 9 would be ideal. Forging 9 golden veins would surpass most inheritors of the 10,000 sects. That's wonderful. Anything that can help me forge golden veins is welcomed. Li Wei's interest was immediately piqued. He found a ceramic jar on the ground and began filling it with the golden spring water from the puddle. Spirit Tablet Master had told him that once his mental power cultivation reached the square-inch bright flame stage, his blood-earth space would undergo further changes, possibly aiding him in refining his golden vein. But that was still uncertain. How could it compare to the tangible golden spring water before him? Hidden Lord watched Li Wei drain the puddle completely, not a single drop remaining. His brow furrowed deeply. This kid really has no manners at all. The two of them began walking out. Hidden Lord said, the secret of leader Yuan Jie's return in 10 years must not be revealed at this stage. Your identity must also be kept secret, so I can't directly make you a divine hidden one for now. You'll still need to challenge the 3 people on the psychic telekinetic stone wall. With your innate talent, breaking through to the 9 spring stage shouldn't be too difficult. Li Wei had been planning to do just that. He didn't want to be thrust into the spotlight. If news of his abilities leaked, it would undoubtedly attract the attention of countless ancient monsters. He asked, what are the benefits of becoming a divine hidden one? Hidden Lord wanted to tell him that being a divine hidden one meant responsibility. But remembering that Li Wei wasn't a commoner, he couldn't directly burden him with the Zhu Li tribe's responsibilities. He changed his tone. Becoming a divine hidden one is an extraordinary achievement. The resources available to you would far surpass those of ordinary hidden ones. For example, the golden spring water you're holding, only divine hidden ones are qualified to drink it. For example, once a divine hidden one emerges, they can mobilize the resources of both the hidden sect and the Coffin Sea Pavilion, and command all the hidden ones within the Lingxiao realm. In major events, even those from previous generations of hidden ones must obey your orders. Furthermore, to cultivate the divine hidden one's leadership aura, they are exempt from the death spirit fire upon leaving the hidden sect, granting them considerable freedom. Li Wei's eyes grew brighter. So, if I become a divine hidden one, I can leave the hidden sect whenever I wish. Naturally, the hidden lord replied. Li Wei nodded in satisfaction, then suddenly remembered something. The 6 desires talisman issue must be resolved within 2 months. I only have 2 pills left from Shi Luyu. The hidden lord gestured for Li Wei to produce the pills. He picked one up, sniffed it, and said, Shi Luyu can't be touched for now, but these pills are not difficult to refine. I'll make you a few more later. Completely resolving the 6 desires talisman issue would undoubtedly require capturing Shi Luyu and forcing him to dispel the talismanic runes. However, doing so would expose many traces of the hidden sect, potentially even drawing the heavenly king of the Earth Wolf King's army to Li Prefecture. This was not the outcome the hidden lord desired. Maintaining the hidden sect's mystery, even allowing enemies to underestimate them, was the most advantageous strategy. Li Wei, carrying a ceramic jar in one hand, walked out of the hidden sect's mountain gate alone. Besides the gatekeeper elder, who was as always meditating in his usual spot, Yin'er Shixi was waiting at the gate. She hurried over. How did it go? Did you see the hidden ancestor? Li Wei remained silent, his expression grim. Yin'er Shixi pondered for a moment, feeling a pang of guilt she couldn't explain. Still, she maintained her cold demeanor. I truly didn't know about the trial. But everyone has to go through it. What's there to be so angry about? Li Wei wasn't petty, but he deliberately spoke with annoyance. When things were most dangerous, my first thought was your safety. I told you to leave first. But what about you? Couldn't you have at least given me a warning? Do you know how dangerous the Changgulan gang became after you left? Wang Daojun wanted to kill me, striking me with a palm strike that left me severely wounded. Yang Qingxi threatened my companions, using them to blackmail me. But the most terrifying was Yao Qian. He had uncovered many of my secrets. Who knows what tortures and torments I would have suffered if I had fallen into their hands. Shi Luyu wanted to throw me into the wolf den, leaving me unable to live or die. Shi Zhoujai and Shi Shishi planned to tie me up and take me to the earth wolf. Yin'er Shixi imagined the scene, her heart heavy. With absolute certainty, she declared, I will kill Wang Daojun. Next time, I'll let you go first. Li Wei sneered, do I need you to kill him for me? His life is mine. What about the radiant flame pills? Yin'er Shixi fumbled, producing a pill vial and presenting it with both hands, 5 in total. If you need more, I'll find a way. Li Wei took the vial. When he opened it, a blinding beam of light erupted from the mouth, illuminating the mountain gate area as bright as day. He quickly sealed it. His spirits soaring, he couldn't wait to return to his cave dwelling and consume the pills. Seeing Yin'er Shixi's anxious expression, he feigned indifference. Consider this your payment for 50,000 silver coins. But what about the three-headed serpent blood soul's power verification? Don't try to cheat me. I have a rough idea of its combat strength. Yin'er Shixi could sense Li Wei's sincerity and no longer dared to deceive him. In its strongest state, it should reach the 5th level of the 5 Seas realm. But to unleash that level of power with my current cultivation, I must be prepared to sacrifice my life. What's its value? Li Wei asked urgently. Yin'er Shixi replied, conservatively estimated at 3 million silver coins. I'll gather the funds as quickly as possible, but it might take several years. She didn't dare say more than 10 years, fearing Li Wei would snatch the bracelet back. Li Wei held his breath, his heart pounding. This was far higher than the Spirit Tablet Master had estimated. He reasoned that since the Spirit Tablet Master didn't belong to this era, it was normal for his assessment of the blood sacrifice spiritual artifact's value to be inaccurate. Conservatively, 3 million silver coins. More realistically, 4 or 5 million. Let's say 4 million silver coins. Li Wei waved his hand and started walking down the mountain. You should focus on cultivating and break through your current bottleneck as soon as possible. Once your cultivation improves, you should be able to unleash the three-headed serpent bracelet's full power without sacrificing your life. I'll come collect the debt when I need the money. Yin'er Shixi noticed not a trace of anger in Li Wei's tone, only a hint of concern. Realizing she'd been tricked, her face turned cold. She quickly caught up to him and whispered, when are we going to the spider cave? Not yet. I'll swallow these radiant flame pills first and see if I can break through quickly. Reaching the Blood River, Li Wei stopped and looked at the slender figure still sitting beneath the cliffside stone carving of the Zhuli Insect Valley. The stone carving was majestic, imbued with ancient charm. Yaoyan, in contrast, seemed so fragile, like a tender blade of grass daring to shake a towering mountain. Li Wei asked, what's her situation? What's really wrong with her? From her tone earlier, it sounded like she doesn't have much time left. Blank. End of chapter. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 2, Zhuli Insect Valley. Chapter 67, 94 Consecutive Breakthroughs. 67th of Volume 2. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. Yin'er Shixi's expression turned curious. Why do you care so much about her? As things stand, you're still rivals. Li Wei used the same words Yin'er Shixi had once said to Yaoyan, perhaps it's because she's beautiful. Then I advise you not to fall for her. You'll only end up suffering the pain of separation, harming both yourself and her. Yin'er Shixi sighed. She possesses the incredibly rare, shattered jade, ice soul physique, which only appears in pure immortal physique. Out of 10,000 pure immortal physiques, perhaps only one will have it. Shattered jade, ice soul physique. Li Wei repeated, puzzled. Yin'er Shixi explained, in other words, her pure immortal physique is too pure. Her body is prone to shattering like jade and cracking like ice. This rare constitution usually stems from a bizarre bloodline mutation in her parents. Her father. She immediately stopped speaking. I've only heard of half-immortal physiques. I never knew there was such a thing as being too pure, Li Wei mused, realizing he needed to catch up on this world's knowledge. Once I become a divine hidden one, I'll visit the library tower of the Coffin Sea Pavilion. Yin or Shi said, in this world, everything is a matter of balance. Pure immortal physiques with the shattered jade ice soul physique rarely live past 18. Otherwise, why would she, as the granddaughter of the Yaoli tribe's clan chief and a pure immortal physique of such high status, be here undergoing the hidden sect trial? Can the hidden sect save her? Li Wei asked. Yin or Shi shook her head. History records a few instances of pure immortal physiques with the shattered jade ice soul physique surviving. They pushed their physiques, combat potential to the absolute limit, achieving extraordinary heights. But they all found the ultimate yang essence. Something even the hidden sect doesn't possess either. If she could comprehend the battle technique intent of the Zhu god, she might forge a path to survival, but the odds are slim. Li Wei knew that many things in this world were beyond his control. Everyone had their own destiny, and in life, one would experience countless fleeting encounters and inevitable farewells. Beauty always fades. After a sigh of regret, one's own life must go on. Yin or Shi, you know too much. After saying this, Li Wei turned and headed straight back to the Blood Forest Cliff. Yin or Shi froze, then realized what he was doing. This guy had been probing her relationship with Yaoyan by exploiting the Yaoyan's secret and unique constitution. Indeed, she and Yaoyan shared an extraordinary bond, which was why she knew so much about Yaoyan's condition. Though only 16, Yin or Shi had survived to the end of the trial among a group of competitors. She couldn't possibly be entirely transparent in her emotions, she possessed a depth and maturity beyond her age. At the end of the Spider Cave trial, Yin or Shi had recognized Li Wei's formidable strength, likely making him Yaoyan's strongest opponent. However, he also displayed a clear character flaw: he hadn't seized the opportunity to kill Yaoyan within the Spider Cave. Based on these two observations, Yin or Shi had devised her own strategy to help Yaoyan, specifically targeting Li Wei's weakness. So he saw through it. This is troublesome. Now he has another point to hold over me. Yin or Shi walked toward Yaoyan, determined to confess everything to prevent her from falling deeper into Li Wei's trap. Now that Li Wei was essentially guaranteed to become a divine hidden one, he would no longer be Yaoyan's mortal enemy. The cultivation of the Mind Master realm involves continuously absorbing light to nurture fire. No matter how powerful a meditation techniques are, absorbing light from nature is always a slow process. The radiant flame pill, however, was different. Li Wei swallowed the first pill, and a warm sensation immediately spread through his abdomen. Then, his entire body was illuminated by the light emanating from his core, his flesh glowing like red-hot glass. He immediately began meditating. He imagined himself as two towering Fusong divine trees, rapidly absorbing all the light. The radiant flame within the entire cave dwelling transformed into countless tiny particles, flowing like streams toward the third eye spiritual realm between his eyebrows. Inside his third eye, the spiritual light flame rapidly surged. After a day and night, the light of the first radiant flame pill had almost completely vanished. 30% had been absorbed, while 70% had dissipated. My entire third eye spiritual realm is now filled with flame, equivalent to 3 months of diligent cultivation, Li Wei thought, a pang of regret striking him. In exchange for saving those 3 months, his 10,000 silver coins had vanished in an instant. Next, I must continuously refine the spiritual flame until it condenses into a higher grade bright flame. Li Wei considered himself the major creditor of Yin or Shi and Yang Yun. He could even extort Yaoyan for a sum, since he had saved her twice. He could afford to be a bit overbearing. If he has no money left in the future, he would collect the debts. He quickly swallowed the second radiant flame pill. After a day and night, the second radiant flame pill's light faded. This time, the absorption rate was slightly better, reaching 35%. The spiritual flame in his third eye spiritual realm had become much more concentrated, its temperature noticeably higher, and its light even more dazzling. However, it still seemed far from reaching the bright flame stage. Third pill, fourth pill. By the 5th day, Li Wei took out the last radiant flame pill, his mood far from cheerful. He had burned down a mansion in Zhuli City in a single day, and after 4 consecutive days, he still hadn't broken through. This pill was a complete scam. It was ridiculously expensive. He seriously suspected that Yin or Shi had given him fake pills. If this one doesn't work, I'm going to Yin or Shi to settle the score. She's always scheming against me. 4 million silver coins seems too cheap. I'll make her pay dearly this time. He raised the clay jar and gulped down a mouthful of golden spring before swallowing the last radiant flame pill. Half a day later, the spiritual flame in his third eye spiritual realm, after repeated compression and refinement, suddenly began to tremble violently. It shook for a full half hour, and at one moment, all the flames collapsed inward toward the center. Boom! The third eye spiritual realm fell silent. All the raging flames condensed into a single, pea-sized bright flame. This flame was as solid as a rock, unmoving and unwavering, shining like a star. Haha, it worked. The bright flame is complete. Li Wei laughed wildly in his cave dwelling, too excited to continue meditating and absorbing the remaining radiant flame pill. He quickly pulled out the Dao Ancestors Tai Chi fish. One by one, luminous particles of the bright flame emerged from his brow and surged toward the Tai Chi fish, activating it. Whoosh! As the two bronze fish spun, a Tai Chi mark appeared beneath Li Wei's feet. Spatial power erupted, pulling him toward the microscopic world within the Buddha's relic. In the cave dwelling, only the Buddha's relic remained suspended in midair, supported by the Tai Chi mark. After experiencing weightlessness, Li Wei reappeared on the blood-mud land, a vast expanse resembling a withered sea. The blood mist that had enveloped and confined the entire space had receded into the distance. The blood-mud space seems to have only expanded, with no other changes, Li Wei sighed. The spirit tablet's voice echoed in his mind, use your psychic telekinesis power to try and disperse the blood mist at the edge of the space. Li Wei quickly suppressed his emotions, entering a meditative state. Gradually, he focused his mind, using his psychic power to peel away the blood mist bit by bit in one direction. The mist gradually thinned. After numerous attempts, Li Wei's control over psychic telekinesis power and the blood mist grew increasingly proficient. When he peeled away the final layer of the blood mist veil, a scene of breathtaking grandeur that had last graced his eyes months ago reappeared before him. Behind the blood mist lay a vast and magnificent ocean. At the ocean's edge stood two colossal Fusang divine trees, their intertwined trunks reaching tens of thousands of meters into the sky. Their lush, radiant branches and leaves stretched towards the horizon, each leaf shining like the sun and moon. Across the sea's surface bloomed countless golden flowers of varying sizes, devoid of leaves, their white roots submerged in the water. This was none other than the Tanggu Sea, where the bronze ship had sailed months ago. The Fusang divine tree, Zaihe. What left Li Wei breathless with shock was the realization that this didn't feel like an illusion. He could smell the unique fragrance emanating from Zaihe, hear the sound of the waves, and feel the radiant light emanating from the Fusang divine tree. This Spirit Tablet Master, is the tempering of the golden vein meridian what you meant by using the Fusang divine tree's radiance? How could the Shaoyang star connect to the Tanggu Sea? And how did you know about this? Li Wei struggled to calm himself, but his eyes remained fixed on the Fusang divine tree, his facial muscles completely frozen. Senior Spirit Tablet said, the Shaoyang star is an extraordinary spatial treasure. During our war, it directly teleported us from all corners of the world. In other words, it's not surprising that it can open spatial barriers to any location. As for why you appeared directly beneath the Fusang divine tree after parting the blood mist, I don't know the reason. When you first entered the Shaoyang star and first parted the blood mist, the Fusang divine tree and this ocean briefly appeared. That's why I speculated that as your psychic telekinesis power grows stronger, you might be able to connect with this sea. Perhaps. It has something to do with your reckless modification of the one-blade grass meditation technique. When you meditate, you imagine yourself as the Fusang tree. This might have, in some way, convinced the Shaoyang star that you wanted to come here. So when you parted the blood mist, you arrived right here. Li Wei found this hard to believe, muttering to himself, so if I imagine returning to Earth, could I open a spatial barrier to Earth? You could try, Senior Spirit Tablet replied. Li Wei's heart raced with excitement. He immediately began to visualize Shukyu, the ancient temple where he had cultivated with his master. Then, he channeled his psychic telekinesis power, peeling away layers of the blood mist in the opposite direction. But behind the blood mist lay an endless expanse of desolate blood-mud land, the landscape of Shaoyang Star. Perhaps I'm not focused enough. He tried several more times, until his spirit began to flag, before finally giving up. The Spirit Tablet Master said, perhaps your psychic telekinesis power cultivation isn't strong enough yet. The stronger your psychic telekinesis power, the greater your control over Shaoyang Star will be. Or maybe I don't truly yearn to return. It was just a fleeting impulse. Li Wei forced a wry smile, then rubbed his temples and stood up again. He walked toward the vast, undulating sea where the Fusang divine tree stood, knowing that tempering his golden vein meridian was the most urgent task. However, as soon as he reached the edge of the blood-mud space, an invisible spatial barrier blocked his path, preventing him from truly reaching the sea. This isn't a true space channel. Li Wei asked. The Spirit Tablet Master replied, no, it's because your psychic telekinesis power isn't strong enough. If you become a great spiritual mind master, you might be able to break through this spatial barrier. Breaking through from the square-inch blaze to the square-inch bright flame had cost Li Wei 5 radiant flame pills, equivalent to consuming 5 mansions. He couldn't even imagine how much it would cost to break through to the foot-earth flame realm. He decided to take a more gradual approach, consuming light and nurturing his flame step by step. Even though the space barrier blocks us, the Fusang divine tree's radiance is real. There's no place in the world more suitable for refining my golden vein meridians than here, is there? All Li Wei's shock was replaced by excitement. He began drinking from the golden spring while simultaneously practicing the Fusang Divine Tree meditation technique. At the same time, he used the Azure King tempering method to continuously absorb the Fusang Divine Tree's emitted light, infusing it into his silver veins. Instead of merging all 96 veins simultaneously as before, he focused on refining just one. Time flew by. Whoosh! On the other side of the space barrier, the sea boiled. Endless spiritual flames burned deep beneath the waves, eventually coalescing into a golden crow that soared out of the ocean. The instant the golden crow emerged, the light emanating from the space barrier intensified 1,000-fold. As Li Wei practiced the Azure King tempering method, he felt all the light particles go out of control, cascading down like a waterfall and surging into his body like a windstorm, merging into his veins. The silver vein connecting to the center of his right palm first shimmered with a layer of golden light, then grew brighter and brighter, releasing a scorching and powerful energy. Like a dragon meridian, it surged up his arm, extending toward his internal organs and back before shooting straight to the top of his head. The first golden vein meridian had been tempered in just one day. Li Wei looked at his right arm, then suddenly stood up from the ground, gazing at the golden crow soaring into the distance. Fusang and the golden crow are mutually dependent. And when I meditate, I become the Fusang Divine Tree. Spirit Tablet Master, I think the key to tempering golden vein meridians with the Azure King tempering method is to cultivate both the Fusang Divine Tree meditation technique and the martial Dao simultaneously. Combining these with the Tengu Sea's treasure trove. Well, that's adding too much. Anyway, I feel like it won't be long before I can temper all the silver veins in my body into golden vein meridians. Master Guan, how many golden vein meridians did you say you've tempered? Blank. End of chapter. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 2, Julie Insect Valley. Chapter 68-95 2 months later. 68th of Volume 2. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. As summer faded into autumn, 2 months had already passed. Yin Shi-san sat upright on a 4-meter-long spiritual artifact jade boat, his body steady and unaffected by the turbulent currents. He navigated the intricate and complex underground Blood River, entering the vast river valley where the Julie Insect Valley lay. He appeared to be in his early 20s, with a round, soft face, fair skin, and a small tuft of beard on his chin. Reaching the towering cliff face carved with the words, Julie Insect Valley, the jade boat docked on the right bank of the Blood River. As a 5 Seas realm expert and one of the Julie hidden sect's messengers responsible for gathering information outside, Yin Shi-san was one of the few hidden ones who knew the route from the underground river into the Julie Insect Valley. As for Yin Shi-san, Yin Shi-si, and Yin Shi-wu, the young disciples, they hadn't even earned the right to formally graduate and still needed to cultivate and grow within the hidden sect. After disembarking, Yin Shi-san extended his palm toward the void. Whoosh! The 4-meter-long spiritual artifact jade boat soared into the air, transforming into a 4-inch-long exquisite miniature boat that landed in his palm. A knowing smile spread across his face. This mid-grade spiritual artifact treasure was truly invaluable. In the water, it could travel 1,800 miles a day, leaving ordinary fierce insects far behind. The underground river, a special transportation network that everyone else feared, was now his domain. The imperial court truly has the best treasures. No wonder everyone wants to rule the world. After tucking the spiritual artifact jade boat into his pocket, Yin Shi-san heard the sounds of combat echoing in the distance. The sounds were coming from the direction of the psychic telekinetic stone wall. Someone is challenging the 3 people on the psychic telekinetic stone wall. Intrigued, Yin Shi-san hurried through the purple tree forest and arrived at the edge of the plaza beneath the psychic stone wall. Senior brother Yin Shi-san. Greetings, senior brother Yin Shi-san. Yin Shi-san, Yin Shi-si, and Yin Shi-wu had been watching the battle for some time. They all bowed respectfully to Yin Shi-san. Among the 3 of them, such formalities weren't necessary. Their strength wasn't vastly different, and it was uncertain who might become stronger in the future. However, Yin Shi-san entered the hidden sect over a decade earlier and had already reached an incredibly profound level of cultivation. Shi-wu, why are you still so skinny? I thought you were challenging the psychic stone wall. How's it going? Have you turned all your meridian veins silver yet? Yin Shi-san pinched Yin Shi-wu's chest playfully, then turned his gaze to the center of the square, where a man and his shadow were locked in combat. His eyes instantly narrowed in concentration. Yin Shi-wu winced at the pain but endured it, replying, almost there. But even if all my meridian veins turn silver, I still wouldn't last 20 moves against Yin-ju. The difference between 91 meridian veins and 100 is simply too vast. Yin-ju has already lost. Who is this kid? He's already challenging Yang Shenjing, who has 100 silver meridians pure immortal physique. Yin Shi-san's astonishment grew with each passing moment. His eyes widened so much they nearly popped out of his head. After all, to trade blows evenly with someone possessing 100 meridians pure silver immortal physique was a feat that marked him as a true heir inheritor. Yin or Shi Wu sighed with deep emotion. This year's newcomer has only been in the hidden sect for 4 months, yet his combat strength has been growing rapidly every month, as if he's never hit a bottleneck. Besides the 4 hidden ones, Yaoyan, clad in a white cloud silk robe, stood at the edge of the square like a celestial maiden in a painting, quietly observing the battlefield. Her delicate face wore a more serious expression than anyone else's. Several elders from the older generation of hidden ones also appeared, standing in the medicinal cuisine hall to watch the battle from afar. Yin Shi-san stared at Li Wei for a long moment, then suddenly realized something. So it's him. He's joined the hidden sect. Interesting. Very interesting. Senior brother Shi-san knows him. Yin or Shi-si asked. He's become quite famous in Li Prefecture these past few months. Especially after he wiped out the Chang'an gang 2 months ago. It was like he'd pierced the heavens. The Yang clan's bounty on his head has been doubled and redoubled. The Shui clan has even sent word that their elders will personally hunt him down to avenge Shui Zheng. It's fortunate he's hidden in the hidden sect, or even the Kandli tribe might not have been able to protect him. Yin Shi-san continued, rattling off details like a seasoned storyteller. Some say he's a 9-spring supreme. Others claim his combat prowess rivals the 100 meridians pure silver immortal physique, that he's a seed of the Zhu Li tribe's heritage, destined to be cultivated as the second successor after Kang Li. I used to think those rumors were exaggerated. But now. Oh, and there's also talk that he and the Kandli tribe's 4th miss were deeply in love, but Yang Yun interfered, leading to his feud with the Yang clan. It's the classic tale of a poor boy and a rich girl, always filled with obstacles and increasingly powerful rivals. Hearing this, Yaoyan couldn't help but glance at Yin Shi-san. Yin or Shi-si frowned. What kind of absurd rumors are these? I know Li Ling. Neither she nor Li Wei seems like the type to fall easily in love. But I'm a messenger of the hidden sect. My information is never baseless. The governor's manor specifically investigated him. He already met the Li clan's clan head and matriarch in Yaoguan and earned the Kandli first commander's deep favor. Kang Li even issued a challenge to all young martial mystic cultivators at that time, causing quite a stir. Yin Shi-san chuckled. Yin or Shi-si fell silent, lost in thought. Among the Zhu Li tribe, the Li clan is the largest. But only the direct lineage of the Kandli tribe could truly be called the Li clan, as they are descendants of Azure King, the eldest son of the god of the Zhu Li and the nominal head of the Zhu Li god's descendants. Truly impressive. He's practically on par with Yang Shenjing. No wonder the Kandli tribe wants him as a son-in-law, Yin Shi-san remarked. Yin or Shi-si sneered, someone with such exceptional innate talent would never become a son-in-law. The Kandli tribe is too arrogant. Li Ling is merely a half-immortal physique. What right does she have? Boom. Boom. Li Wei's entire body overflowed with spiritual qi, shrouded like mist. He continuously swung his yellow dragon sword, parrying the long spear wielded by Yang Shenjing. Over the past 2 months, he had forged 55 golden veins, significantly enhancing his physical strength. However, the time spent forging these golden veins had delayed his breakthrough to the 9th spring, the ancestral field. The greatest disadvantage of not having broken through to the ancestral field was that his body only had the Fengfu acupoint to store the spiritual qi needed to unleash a single heavenly Dao Law Harmony technique, martial Dao and Law Harmony ultimate technique. In contrast, a 9-spring supreme who had opened their ancestral field could mobilize their ancestral field spiritual energy to unleash dozens, even hundreds, of attacks exceeding their cultivation level. For instance, Yin Ju, by mobilizing his ancestral field spiritual energy, his combat power surged, allowing him to trade blows with Yang Shenjing. Only after his ancestral field spiritual energy was exhausted did he immediately fall. With the enhancement of the golden veins, the flow of spiritual power within Li Wei's body became faster and smoother. Coupled with his increased physical strength, he could finally withstand Yang Shenjing's attacks while he was using ancestral field spiritual energy. Previously, he couldn't even block a single strike. How formidable is Yang Shenjing? He's already unleashed 27 strikes. Is his ancestral field spiritual energy truly so abundant? Li Wei endured until the 31st strike, finally sensing Yang Shenjing's ancestral field spiritual energy beginning to wane. Yang Shenjing's combat power rapidly declined to its normal state. Seizing the opportunity, Li Wei launched a decisive counterattack, unleashing a barrage of heavenly Dao Law Harmony techniques that filled the sky. After 7 moves. Boom. Li Wei's sword split Yang Shenjing in 2, transforming him into 2 balls of spiritual light and spiritual energy that flew into the psychic telekinesis stone wall. Li Wei stood alone in the square, exhaling deeply. He glanced at the bloodstain on his knuckles and thought, with 8th spring cultivation, it's still too difficult to withstand the battle burst state of 100 meridians pure silver immortal physique mobilizing ancestral field spiritual energy. I must break through to the ninth spring to defeat him in 1 or 2 moves. A single realm difference is like heaven and earth. Yin Shi-san stared at Li Wei, who was sitting cross-legged, meditating and recovering. He gradually digested his shock, replaced by a multitude of doubts. If I saw correctly just now, he never mobilized his ancestral field spiritual energy. He defeated 100 Meridian's pure silver immortal physique with his normal combat strength. The other 3 hidden ones wore strange expressions. They knew some inside information and seriously suspected Li Wei hadn't even broken through to the ninth spring yet. But how could that be possible? There was no such record in history. The hidden elders watching the battle relaxed their expressions, smiles spreading across their faces as they looked extremely pleased. Yin Shi-san approached to pay his respects. Little Shi-san, why did you rush back from the underground river? Is something urgent? The gatekeeper elder asked. Yin Shi-san said, major events have been happening these past few months, especially the upheaval in Burial Immortal Town, which has drawn the attention of cultivators across the land. I entered the underground river from there and rushed back specifically to meet the hidden lord. The gatekeeper elder, who compiled external information and relayed important news to the hidden lord, asked, has anything new happened in Burial Immortal Town? Yin Shi-san nodded. The immortal haze space within Burial Immortal Town underwent a massive expansion a few days ago, and extraordinary treasures have been constantly emerging. Even the 4 Extremes Ape King appeared 6 days ago, covering the entire sky with demonic energy for hundreds of miles. The hidden elders present were visibly moved. The 4 Extremes Ape King, who resided in Heavenly Cliff Ridge, was the most terrifying malevolent demon in the Southern Territory. Every time he celebrated his birthday, the various factions from the 7 prefectures of the Southern Territory had to send gifts. Failure to do so was considered disrespectful and could bring catastrophic consequences. Even the 3 great barbarian bandits, Guan Shan's, Shu Fodu, the Earth Wolf King's armies, Shina and Night City's, Yuan Yan, had to pay their respects. If such a being were to come to Li Prefecture, every major faction there would surely tremble. The gatekeeper elder asked, has the Zuaokyu clan made any moves? In the Southern Territory, the Zuaokyu clan held the ultimate authority. The 10,000 sects' prestige was so high that even demon kings had to yield to them. If the Zhu Li tribe hadn't declined, they would naturally possess the same power. Yin Shi-san said, the Zuaokyu clan's heir has arrived in Burial Immortal Town and has already clashed with the heirs of the Kang Li and Dragon sect lineages. The outcome remains unknown. Furthermore, the Phoenix Terrace envoy, Luantai envoy, secretly arrived in Li Prefecture half a month ago. They have since visited the clan chiefs of the 9 great tribes, carrying an imperial decree from a palace master of Lingxiao Palace. It's clear they've come to pressure the Zhu Li tribe into sending troops to suppress the barbarians and to gather resources and provisions for the imperial army. The gatekeeper elder snorted coldly. They're treating the Zhu Li tribe like a grain silo and treasury, with everyone eager to take a bite. The Phoenix Terrace envoy, Luantai envoy, represents the imperial court, after all. Lingxiao Palace still stands, and Yu Yaozi remains the world's foremost expert. No one can afford to offend them. Yin Shi-san added, this Phoenix Terrace envoy, Luantai envoy, is said to be extremely young and has already challenged the Dragon sect heir, vowing to slay him in Li Prefecture. The gatekeeper elder sighed deeply. Lingxiao Palace and Dragon sect, the Zhu Li tribe couldn't afford to offend either. Whoever dies in Li Prefecture would bring disaster. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.